What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 World AI Only Battle. We started with 57 Civs. There's not that many left now, so there's not much of a special name for it anymore, but I guess it will help identify it if I keep calling it that, so that will help, I guess. But yeah, there is plenty of Civs still fighting. In fact, I don't know how many exactly are left. 44, if you take out that I'm not obviously a competitor. I'm spectating as Venice. All those stats being generated from this little submarine up at the North Pole. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, with the info addicts turned on. Now apparently they do now work with this mod, but my mods haven't been updating for ages and stuff like that, so I might have to reinstall Civ once this series is done. We'll see. A city has fallen. Mongolia conquers. Oh, this one. That is a surprise. I thought they would have got the other one, but nope, they managed to do the more difficult one. Probably with some help from Korea. But there you go, Mongolia grabs this off Parthia, and they should grab this one at some point, I would imagine. A few peace deals for Denmark, but none of them particularly relevant there. And Korea, as long as they haven't given any random cities away, just all of a sudden Australia's in Europe. Korea has completed the Prora, so another wonder for them, and they're beginning to look very strong. Be exciting to see what they get up to next once Parthia is sort of dealt with. The Celts joining in, and Ethiopia. Yeah, that's not going to matter. Parthia is going to be gone soon anyway. And Brazil completes Broadway, so that's quite a nice wonder for them. Obviously quite a cultural civilization, so that's going to be a good boost for them. And I've noticed Brazil is still competing for the wonders, so that's good. It's not just Korea or the Iroquois running away with them all. It's good to see Brazil still getting in there. See, Korea's just grabbed one as well. Denmark and Mali with a peace deal, not particularly a big one. Songhai, though, starting to have some success against Mali. Nyeni is taking some damage. And this city, not so much. This one's holding on. That one's doing just fine. Here we go. South Africa have denounced the Goths. God, what do they do to you, South Africa? They're so far away. There's a very good chance that outside of the World Congress, those two have never met each other. There's probably a lot of fog of war. Maybe they can see the capital through an embassy. That's ridiculous when you really think about it. What South Africa can probably see of the map. Pretty crazy that they would denounce them. But there you go. Happens a lot, of course. I feel like there's too many. It just gets too complicated for the AI to maintain good diplomatic relations with everyone. As I've discovered in my Let's Play, if you don't denounce who your allies have denounced, then they will denounce you. It's a complete mess. So that is probably a big part of it all. And obviously, yeah, the more civs, just the harder it is to not annoy somebody. And then once you've annoyed one civ, all the others pile on in there as well. Germany, how you doing? They look, two cities fall to Samoa in one turn, and that came out of nowhere. Okay, what the heck? Okay, Samoa. Oh, they have a plane. That would help, because no one around them has planes. They also have cannons and artillery, which is helping. I think both of these belong to Burundi. I say that pretty confidently. Both of these cities belong to Burundi previously, and now they belong instead to Samoa. So that's pretty interesting. Samoa, the first civ to really go cross-continental. No one else has really successfully made a big stand in another continent just yet. Japan has had a little bit of success. Oh, and okay, they pieced out, which I missed, and apparently they pieced out for San Francisco. So Japan has definitely got a foothold now in North America, so never mind. Scratch that. Japan is also breaking into another continent. I guess Ethiopia technically has, but Asia's so big it's a little unfair. At that point, you may as well say Attila has also got into Asia. While he's also in Europe, it's not particularly useful. It's not as big, I don't think, Ethiopia getting this. They also spawned right here. They've not crossed the giant ocean. They've just gone over the little sea. Whereas Samoa, there is a long way. Don't know where South Africa's going. There's plenty of their units. It's a complete mix of blue and green, all with the yellow borders. Australia, India, and who's the other one? South Africa, all here, all very similar. They all have the gold and then a greeny or blue colour. It's pretty interesting that they're all together. The Chinook have a settler out here. Don't know where it's going to end up. Probably not the best move, but we'll see. Japan's still going after Siam. They're trying to sneak around this way. And if they get this city, that would make things very interesting in East Asia, because then Korea will probably have to fight Japan. Well, yeah, they would. There's no way through at that point. Although Korea does have this. Japan would have essentially trapped them in this corner. They do have a way out up here, but it's not particularly useful. You can only get to the Chinook. That is not an ideal situation for them. Go on, Mali, what are you doing? Oh, okay, it's not looking good for Mali, I'm afraid. ASCII is doing well. Congo, how are they doing? We've been a bit quiet on them recently. They've got some good sized cities. 4 cities just sat here chilling. Obviously they are having to defend Egypt, who are being a bit aggressive at the moment. But yeah, this should go fine for the Congo. Corral not doing too much, okay. And, okay, not so big. South Africa v Mali. Mali should be safe. I mean, South Africa might send some boats and be a bit of a nuisance. But yeah, I think the Songhai is the biggest threat to Mali, at least for now. Yeah, it's safe to say South Africa has a lot of stuff like in the Indian Ocean just randomly scattered around. That won't be too useful. But yeah, a long time, a lot of episodes before anything out there gets back over here. As you can imagine, probably a couple of episodes just to make that journey, let alone fight the battle. So you'd hope that that's not what we're waiting for. The Shoshone still delaying the Iroquois, putting up a big fight here, even against artillery now. No planes yet for the Iroquois. I mean, maybe there's no oil, but they have the tundra, which has got an oil bias, and they're pretty big. Like, probability-wise, they're probably the most likely civ in the world to have oil. So, I don't know. Are they the biggest? Does this show you land size? I think they are still the biggest. So, yeah, there you go, and land. And that does include sea tiles, which obviously it takes longer to get the oil out of the sea. But yeah, that should put them as the highest probability of having access to oil, plus being in the tundra. Furthers that. Ideology. Who's it going to be? Someone joined Belgium going freedom. Should we guess again? I don't even know who's got one and not. Austria. That's my guess. Egypt. Nowhere near. Well, not really. They fit on the same screen. I guess that's close enough in this kind of map. So that's pretty close. See in the rest of the world. So yeah, Egypt goes autocracy. Another civ. Obviously, order and autocracy still in a bit of a struggle with each other. Siam has pieced out with Germany and the Iroquois. Not that those were leading to too much. They didn't give anything away. It's all good. Hopefully Germany and the Iroquois definitely didn't give anything away. Yeah, you can see the order civs sort of mix between content and dissidents. There's a lot less of them. There's one freedom civ in Belgium who are fine at the moment, and then there's a lot of autocracy civs, but even they mostly have dissidents, so it's not going particularly well at all. I guess Brazil is sort of carrying the order team with that 58 tourism. That's by far the most tourism of any civ with an ideology. As you can see, the top 10 civs with tourism-wise, only 4 of them have even picked an ideology. Brazil and Congo, a huge amount going towards order. Belgium obviously taking a big amount to freedom by themselves. Samoa only sort of matching that for autocracy. South Africa would be a big one. If they were to go order, I think that would probably seal order as the winner. If they went autocracy, it would probably give autocracy a big boost. But yeah, they're both fighting it out and they're both struggling. It's not like there's one clear winner. Denmark has also gone autocracy. I'm very surprised in South Africa. That might be a lack of coal. You need coal to build factories. That might be it, probably, or just technology. I don't know. And there we go. The Goths, of all people, snuck a unit in and created some more border gore. But there we go. That is the elimination of Parthia. May trigger the Huns to go after them, so maybe not have been the best of moves. But oh well, you got to do something. Take your opportunities. Belgium, some planes, quite a few planes now. So that's a pretty scary prospect for the rest of Europe. Although these guys are all stacked. Like, they have all been at peace for so long. They have just spammed out the units to the max. They're all ready. Europe is just... It's going to be a bloodbath at some point in the future. Denmark, as I did just say, going autocracy, which I think was the same as what Egypt went. So autocracy is getting still some support. It seems to be the favoured path. But yeah, there is some nations still suffering dissidents, so it may not be the best decision, but we'll see. I'm sure they will handle it just fine. Australia's turn. What are you guys up to? Just crossing the ocean? I feel bad for them. They're still fairly good size. 13, 16, 18. None of them are puppets anymore. They could hold off. I guess all Samoa now has planes. That I did notice that before, actually, but I didn't really acknowledge that they were only the 3rd civ To get access to planes, Korea, Belgium. Actually, I think Mongolia might have one. No. No, okay, so it is just Korea and Belgium at the moment with planes, and Samoa. So that's a pretty big advantage for those three. I mean, it's not like they're particularly close to each other, any of those, or involved with each other, so it's not like you're defending with your planes against their planes. It's just them using planes against civs without even knowing against civs that don't know what planes are. Chinook and the Iroquois peace out. Nothing changed hands. That's good. I didn't even know that was going on. That was just confusing. So these three were all at war with each other at the same time. That was a mess. But yeah, the Chinook getting a peace deal is pretty good. Brazil piecing out with Siam, not so important. Goths and Siam, no. Corral and Siam. Of all the civs to pointlessly declare war on Siam, I tell you what, but I don't know if they have. No, sorry, for all the civs that have. I don't know why Byzantium haven't. I assume they haven't. They might have and done nothing. But either way, the fact they haven't gone and try and taken that city off them in the Arabian Peninsula is beyond me. Like, why would you not try and conquer Akkad? It would make sense. Grab this, start a fight back against Ethiopia. I don't know, but there you go. Or even you could use it as sort of a launch pad to get to Harappa. I mean, so many of the weak civs who have just been left alone are starting to just have a scary amount of units. Like, it's going to be difficult to clear them out. You look at the Goths here. The Goths, same colour scheme, black with the white outline. There's quite a few that sort of match, or are very close to matching in this game. Who else looks similar? We were talking about the ones in the Indian Ocean, at least from a unit perspective, pretty similar with the golden borders. The Huns, Germany, it's not so bad, but on the mini-map it's certainly the same. And the grey, I think the grey is probably actually quite close. It's just the outline makes it look more different. But yeah, on the mini-map you cannot tell these apart. It just is one giant blob between Germany and Attila. And Japan is also pretty similar, especially on the mini-map level. On the map it's okay, because they're further apart. If they were next to each other it would be more confusing. But yeah, Harappa and the Goths, I'm pretty sure this is almost... You can see there's a slight difference. This is more of a creamy white. I don't know if there's a difference in the blacks. It's hard to tell in the background colours, but this is more like a creamy white, and this is more of like a bluey grey white. This is more grey, or like silver. But still, they look definitely the closest in terms of borders. But yeah, Harappa, not really. They're just waiting, but they've stacked up a lot of units. Like, India is probably scared to attack them, and they have stacked up a lot of units. It's just a cycle. Burundi is the next civ. Let's go with the autocracy ideology. That is certainly the favourite at the moment in terms of numbers. And there we go. Japan did manage to conquer the city of Feng, which is surprising because Mongolia and Korea... Oh, Japan has a plane as well. So there we go. Number 4. They might have had that already, but there we go. They are the 4th civ I've seen with planes. So starting to see more and more. I like the variety. Outside of Korea sort of dominating the technology, there is quite a lot of variety in who's doing well and who has what first. So that is quite exciting. Like, there's no evidence that Japan is going to finish even like in the top 5. I mean, they're certainly on the rise. But I wouldn't probably put them as a top 5 civ. Maybe that's a bit harsh. But they're starting to... They're one of the civs. It's like with the ideology. Some of the bigger civs are just not even got one yet. It's very weird. Australia goes autocracy. So there we go. Another one. That will certainly start. The balance must be tipping. Civil resistance now in the 2 Sicilies with order. Still dissidents in some of the autocracy nations. But again, none of them are too bad. The only real concern, I guess, is Denmark. If they got to like this civil resistance stage, they might flip to order or freedom. I mean, that's... Yeah, you can see Belgium. I do like that you can see who's influencing people. Belgium there would not be good. Let's have a look at the religion. How is that doing? We can actually track it in this game a little bit better than the last one, where I just didn't have access to this menu. Right, most cities, I don't know why it's sorting most, but put the 4s at the top. So the irrelevant religions, for all purposes... Confucianism from Burundi with 4 cities, and Buddhism from Mali. They're just too many religions in Africa. There was 2 other successful African religions. It was never going to work. So the Hinduism from the Indian Empire, which I assume with 39 cities, looks like from just looking behind at the map. Yeah, it's sort of got all into East Asia and everywhere, so fair enough, it's alone in Asia. Sort of expected. The Celts did manage to get Catholicism to 30 cities, so I assume that's very popular in Western Europe, and it has also spread across towards North America, starting to. 27 then with Sikhism from the Goths, which will be Eastern Europe, Central Asia, maybe a bit more towards the Huns territory, not Mongolia, they seem to be following Hinduism. Islam from the Garamantes will be North Africa, maybe Southern Europe in certain places. I think Spain was the big one there in Europe. Maybe the Arabian Peninsula as well. And then Eastern Orthodoxy, 16 cities. That will be Ethiopia and then probably South, right? It will be, yeah, Southern Africa. Although, to be fair, there's more Confucianism here. What the heck? Islam in South Africa. Okay, I don't know where Eastern Orthodoxy's gone to 16 cities. I can see it in these Ethiopian cities. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With that Burundi city, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 16 is not really a lot when you look at it. Okay, fair enough. I don't know where else it is. There's 3 more. Spread very far away, obviously. Oh, this Egyptian city, 14. 15 here. I don't know if I included those already. Maybe I did. But yeah, Islam actually more spread out than I thought. Buddhism and Confucianism are sort of in the way as well. But yeah, South Africa mostly following Islam. That was a surprise because that's quite far away from the Garamantes, and I thought Ethiopia would have got further down this way. But never mind. See, Burundi have their own religion too, but that's really struggling to get off the ground. Same for Mali, who are likely... Oh, they've recovered a bit. This was in the yellow briefly, but back into the green. That's an improvement. It's on the way up. Spain with 3 cities in the Caribbean. This is a new one. So they're looking okay. The biggest is still certainly the Civs, but obviously this was here a lot earlier. Oglala on the island of Cuba. And is that... Obviously, there's so many islands, so sometimes it's not representative, but I think this is Jamaica, mostly. Probably some other islands as well, all rolled into one big island. But they got that as well, with the same city, so that's quite nice. They've got these coral reefs too, so that's pretty cool. They are still in here, not really talked about them too much. Don't know if they're doing that well. Probably not quite in the top 10. If they get in the top 10, you know, they're going to have to do a bit more. I don't know. Them and Texas and the Shoshone, though, doing a good job fending off the Iroquois. If they all teamed up, if the Sioux and Texas just attacked the Iroquois right now, they could probably do some damage, but obviously the AI doesn't really think like that. They'd never... That last AI only battle where all the Civs teamed up on one of the really big ones, China, that's the only time I've really ever seen it. Like, obviously it happens a lot. It might happen in like the first 50 to 100 turns if someone settles too much, but that's a little different. At this point, the Iroquois can easily defend most of their territory. Maybe not easily against all of them, but you know, they can have units fighting at all sides of it. It's not completely just... There's not just exposed areas. Russia v Europa. Not quite going to be too important. Here we go. The Mayans, Spain. Spain denouncing Belgium. That could be interesting. A big war maybe coming up in Western Europe. Spain probably does want to kick Belgium out of Iberia. Wouldn't be too impressed with them being there. As long as the 2 Sicilies don't get too much stronger. I know that's not good for some of you who are rooting for them, but it makes me look better if I can do any better than this in my Let's Play. So yeah, the 2 Sicilies, they need to make sure they don't do too well. Just I don't know. I don't think, yeah, again, probably not in a top 10. Again, it's on score, so I don't know. It's probably not the best. I'm not the best at guessing who it is, but I don't know. I feel like it is very close. I think there is sort of a top 5, maybe top 6 sort of Civs that are pretty clear, or maybe have a bit of a gap. But beyond that, there's just a lot of Civs that are probably very, very close on score, I would guess. Like in Europe, they're all pretty close. Obviously, Belgium have a bit of an advantage. I'd put them in that upper pack. But the rest of them, you know, Sicily, Spain, France, Germany, any of them could could do something with the right war, with the right teammate. South Africa, one of the biggest tourism contributors, one of the two that are just miles out in front. You can see here. Yeah, actually the biggest. Wait, what? What happened to Thingy who had... Brazil just lost half their tourism. They must have had a bonus of some sort that was doubling it. I think Brazil has that to do with their ability in a golden age, maybe. So they are now the biggest, and they went freedom. So that changes a lot of things. Freedom, that is really... Especially, it probably wouldn't be so big if just autocracy was dominating, but all these autocracy nations are struggling. If you get to that civil resistance, or even the next stage, which I can't remember what it's called, the red one, green, yellow, red, yeah, if you get to the red one, you could see some of these nations go into unhappy territory and flip to freedom. That would be a big surprise, because 64 tourism between them. We saw some of the Europeans when I scrolled over what was individually affecting them, that Belgium was playing a big role. If Denmark was to flip, they would probably flip and join Belgium. World's Fair is now 38% completed. So there we go. That's a nice little insight. Probably a few civs working on that. We can't really look into it, but obviously some nice bonuses available for whoever comes first. I think it does show as a pop-up. Although, Golden Age, is it a World's Congress pop-up? I don't know. I think it will turn up. Who has done it? It might not. Hopefully it will. It would be interesting to see, because obviously there are some nice bonuses for getting the gold and silver. Bronze is obviously still nice compared to nothing at all, but a lot of civs will probably get the bronze award, so it's not as a game breaker for you. It's just better than not having it. But silver and gold, certainly good awards, especially gold obviously is unique, only one winner. So yeah, we'll see who gets that. The Inca have denounced the Goths. Oh my goodness. These denouncements are crazy. The year is 1665 and the Inca are denouncing the Goths. The chances that those two have seen each other again beyond embassies is very, very slim. The Mayans and Carthage have reached a peace agreement. There we go. That's something for the two of them. New research agreement. Who's in a research agreement? Come on, let's have a look. Spain and the Sioux. In 1665, their scientists are sharing data. You gotta love this kind of stuff. Let's look at it, what sort of crazy alternate history we got going on. Don't think Samoa's doing any more. I can't even tell if they're all with the Congo. I thought they were initially. And it looks like it is still ongoing. But yeah, I mean, that's not... I don't know how they were so successful against Burundi. But then, not really, you feel like they could get this island as well. Maybe they just don't want it. Indonesia, into the modern era. Good job, guys. Great war infantry. Wow, that's surprising. I guess they're getting some extra science, but it's not like a huge amount from the jungle. Certainly not the big... I mean, I don't know. Most of the world's probably destroyed its jungles, so... Oh, and Japan peaced out with Siam. I must have missed that one. They nearly got Sukhote, but that was not to be. However, they did, which is probably why Siam peaced out and gave them southern India instead. I mean, to be honest, Japan probably would have been better off grabbing the capital. But, I don't know, maybe happiness is an issue. So Japan with the Yamato, a unique boat. I think that would be a battleship replacement or a destroyer. To be honest, I've never seen it before, which just shows that Japan does not normally make it that late game, or at least struggles with technology. Wait, what? Oh, okay, Japan must have just conquered this with their military. Sorry, I thought there was a peace deal, and I was confused because I didn't say one. There you go, they must have just done it by themselves with their military, and they conquer Sukhote as well, so that's even better for Japan. Never mind, this is fantastic. The fall of Siam, probably almost confirmed here in Japan, emerging as a real powerhouse here. This is going to be very interesting with how Korea, Mongolia handle this, because Japan has got sort of the keys to the rest of Asia, because Korea is sort of trapped behind Japan, but Japan could go after India, they could go after Indonesia, Samoa's probably off the table, they look pretty well defended, but I don't know, yeah, Japan certainly seem like they have more options. They can go back to California and the west coast, so yeah, Japan, really the sort of, the upcoming Civ, and I think I just had a great idea. I think I've said I want to input some new features into these battles. I don't really know what they are. I started with the Info Addict episodes, but this time also we don't have Info Addicts. I think we should maybe have a Civ of the episode and a loser of the episode. So like a winner and a loser. And I mean, if we're going to do that for this episode, let me know if you think it's a good idea. I'll keep doing it. Obviously, I'm pre-recording, so you'll have to, if you hate it, you'll have to wait a few episodes for me to drop it and notice. But actually, probably not. This series is actually pretty close because I record it differently because it takes longer. But yeah, Japan is definitely this episode's big winner. I think they've conquered something like 4 cities, solidified their hold on this one, 3, and I mean they also grabbed San Francisco at some point in the past, and I only just noticed. Got to planes. So yeah, Japan's definitely the winner of the episode. The loser, probably LinkedIn. I would say Siam, but I'm going to let them off the hook and say Parthia, just because they were eliminated. That is a pretty big blow. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, just knocked the microphone. Too much hand gestures. That'd be great with a face cam. Not even a face cam, just a hand cam. Just like dancing around with my hands to try and, I don't even know why. I just can't sit still. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.